So about a year ago, I bore witness to the most insane video game trailer for a single character I'd ever seen in my entire life, immediately pre-registered for the game, and then completely forgot about it. If that isn't a sign my brain is fried, I don't know what is. Now you may be wondering, how could a guy like me who puts down the practices of the AAA, greedy microtransactions, and overall scumfuckery in the video game industry succumb to the whims of a gacha game? And to that I say, if I play this game for an entire year without spending a penny, will you stay off my dick? I've genuinely been playing this free-to-play since I installed it back at the end of 1.3. Okay, so with the how could you do this out of the way, let's ask the why are you still doing this? This game is fun as fuck, that's why. Like, look at Miyabi's Virgil-looking head ass, slicing through literally everything and anything. If I got a problem, I throw Miyabi at it. This boss is giving my team trouble, send in Miyabi. Gotta clear this part in Hollow Zero? Call Miyabi. My date just stood me up? If nobody's got me, I know Miyabi's got me. And Miyabi's just the one character I decided to dump a ton of resources into. There are still a lot of other characters I could be grinding out. Like, Billy was what got me into the game to begin with, and his playstyle is super fun. He's a ranged glass cannon who can do plenty of physical AoE, and while he'll easily, get replaced after you pull a few A ranks and occasionally win big with an S rank here and there, he will really pull through in the early game. There's also Wasaba Haramasa. He was free during 1.4, and that automatically makes him goated. His combo game from range to melee is just mega satisfying to pull off, and because he's an electric type, that'll let you put him into both existing and future team comps. Just look at the upcoming Silver Soldier Anby and Trigger. You already know this team is going to be an absolute menace. And then there's Rina, and yeah, no, I can't spin this to be good. I got her losing a 50-50 on the Ellen Joe rerun. I'm absolutely furious that I not only lost, but managed to pull the second slowest character this side of Ben Bigger. Yeah, Rita's got two things going for her, her range and her agent story. Anyway, this game has a lot of cool stuff going for it that I feel gets buried because people take like one look at this game and dismiss it altogether because it's a Lunar game, and then they proceed to fucking play Marvel Rivals. Something about Zenless being more modern and a bit punky just hits that same nerve that Bomber, Cyberpunk, and Hi-Fi Rush managed to strike for me. And that goes for just damn near everything, mind you. The outfits of just about everyone, their animations, their squash, their stretch, the personality, their over-exaggeration, the raw aura that everyone manages to exude. NPCs look fantastic too. General Chop, Tin Master, Enzo's got a fun design. Ray over by Hollow Zero, every single Bang Boo looks adorable. Jesus, and the locations too? The Playground by Luminous Square, Luminous Square, 6th Street, Blazewood, Reverb Arena, Port Elpis, they all look incredible. Now, arguably, there isn't too much content in them besides being, places to grab commissions, find HIA coins, and be the background to us dating our partners in crime against crime. But while their beauty basically only runs surface deep, it still has to be commended, if at least for not being procedurally generated slop. It's a low bar to clear to be sure, but one that I think, unfortunately in this day and age, deserves mentioning. Also, gotta say, had no idea going into this that the main protagonists were owner of a video rental store before I decided to play the story for the first time. After I made that Henry Stickmin video, I decided to start visiting my local thrift store and grabbing some cheap VHS tapes, and as of writing, here's my current collection. It's not a ton, but hey, it's not a bad start. I think now's as good as a time to mention Hoyo vs. other titles. I tried Genshin and only made it just past the prologue. I like the element combos, but the story put me to sleep with how much everything just felt like word salad to me. I tried Honkai, playing it on and off, butting heads with a lot of the game's mechanics, ended up beating Chapter 1 only to end up dropping the game because of how weird I found a lot of the systems to be. I know that's kind of weird to say considering that, Genshin, Honkai, and Zenless all share a lot of common stuff, but for some reason I found Zenless Zone Zero to just be oddly very digestible. I don't know how to explain this. It's not an issue, not unique to like Honkai Star Rail, but a lot of JRPGs for some reason just suffer from too many damn tutorial syndrome. A lot of essential shit is just explained via menus and pop-ups, and the only decent way to digest them all is to like watch YouTube videos so somebody can walk you through it all. I felt like Zenless just had less tutorials due to having less things to worry about. Instead of having this massive spread out gear system with multiple pieces of armor and a weapon, Zenless just, has a single weapon with some add-ons. Want to make those weapons stronger? Just level up each character's iPod and give them the right CDs. Anyway, if you want to make your character stronger, just level them up, level their stats up, level their skills up. Here's what you need, and if you click on them, we can fast travel you instantly to the place you need to farm them. Meanwhile, I feel like Honkai just hides behind like a bunch of like weird words and terms that aren't, immediately understandable to people. Where are the skills? Where are the stats? Well, we're gonna hide them behind dumb names like relics and eidolons, and to me, it just doesn't click. Same thing with the banners. I found out that this polychrome stuff can be turned into encrypted master tapes. If I use those on limited channels or limited banners to get the new in-season characters, I don't have to waste it on normal master tapes, which gets you the basic stable channel stuff. Also, banners are just what everyone calls these things in the gacha community instead of channels. Speaking of gacha, let's just get to the fucking elephant in the room and address my greatest problem with this game. So, imagine this. On both my phone and on PC, I'm doing events, playing minigames, dailies, weeklies, hanging out with characters, grinding out polychrome in the hopes of getting two characters, Lighter and Miyabi. I want to pull for Lighter and Miyabi, losing my fucking 50-50 on Lighter and getting Soldier 11 instead. And I swallow my pride, I grind out as many polychrome as I can, and finally get Lighter so I could have a team of Lighter, Miyabi, and I guess Soldier 11 too now. The story, the music, the urban retro punk hip hop inspired aesthetic that touched the heart of this little old lifelong New Yorker, the fucking animation that oozes charisma at every which way in turn, the hard work and dedication that I could feel hammered into every little detail from the development team, all brought to a screeching halt because if I want to experience this game to the fullest, I either have to play this thing like a 9-to-5 job or sell an organ or 3. Ignore the fact that one pull is like 160 polychrome and that no package of monochrome you can buy is perfectly divisible by 160, always leaving you with some leftover that'll tempt you to buy several odd packages of the paid currency so you don't feel like you've wasted any money. Oh, and by the way, I'm using this stuff to basically gamble on whether or not I unlock what is essentially on-disc DLC, which is made all the worse when you actually like these characters on a personal level because they're all really well written to be very funny and endearing, which makes you emotionally inclined to spend real money on these characters. Yeah, I genuinely cannot recommend this game on the basis of it being a gacha. And no matter how much I praise how cool the character design is, how interesting I find the lore, or how satisfying I feel hitting several parries in a row, and goddamn is that fucking satisfying, I just can't in good faith tell anyone to play Zenless Zone Zero. I wouldn't be able to sleep well at night knowing that. You might tell yourself that you'll only buy some monochrome so you can buy yourself a few skins, that way you can be a good player who supports the devs, but that in and of itself is a very slippery slope that can lead to bad spending decisions later down the line. You'll see that leftover currency on your account just sitting there waiting to be rounded out, begging to be spent on a bunch of encrypted master tapes for whenever Jane Doe gets her rerun. And you, dear viewer, may be telling yourself at this very moment, no way, not me, I'm built different and would never fall prey to such vile tactics. But then, God forbid, you'll glance away of your preferred social media app and in the corner of your eye, you'll see it. Your waifu to be in the account of another, just begging to have her banner pulled for by you. You'll attempt to resist, to save your free polychrome for that one character that you need for your team comp. But everyone has their breaking point. I was gonna save my polychrome for Miyabi, a character that was hyped up to be super powerful. But once I heard that Lighter was voiced by the GOAT Alex Lay, yeah, it was too late. All my free polychrome gone in an instant. And I ended up losing my 50-50 initially and pulled Soldier 11 first. Fuck! I was too deep to back down now, so I grinded like a mad bitch until I finally got Lighter. But was it worth it? All I had for the next 2 months was just Lighter and Soldier 11 with nobody to round them out to have a decent fire team. Ben was too damn slow. Miyabi would end up stealing the show, so because Miyabi has my best DPS right now, I have to bench both these characters and find out what I have that works well with her. I ended up settling on a Miyabi Disorder team with Sokaku buffing Miyabi and Piper to Prague Assault. Dude, fucking listen to me, I'm theory crafting over a Chinese phone game. I've never thought this intensely about team compositions in my life. life, and it's all because my character selection is artificially limited due to a poor monetization system. Alright, so you're probably thinking, why are you acting like such a sweatlord? You know, just have fun, play whoever you like, and to some extent you're right. You know, I usually don't care for metagaming and I just play like the casual I know I am, but when your team builds are limited to what you pull, you really need to try your best to make do with what you have, coordinate with what banners you chase, what you skip, your playstyle, etc. When an enemy is weak to a specific type and you don't have that type, you feel like a moron for not having that character. What do you mean this tier of Shiyu defense is only weak to Ether? The only non-support Ether character is Zhu Yuan, who hasn't been available for months. I gotta say though that the worst part about all of this, I'm probably gonna keep playing this game on the basis of it being free, it being on my phone, and me needing something to do on my college commutes. The story's actually kinda interesting. I'm much more inclined to see what's the deal with these guys instead of watching a furry steal Kryle's screen time. Yeah, thanks Square Enix, you really know how to make a guy feel like he wasted his subscription money. Yeah, so if a pop-up shop decides to like come to my city, I'll see if I can grab some Billy merch to at least show my support that way. But my take genuinely remains the same. I don't recommend you play this on the basis that it's a gacha game, but I did want to talk about how it's been consuming a lot of my free time recently and showcase some aspects that I do find to be genuinely positive. Dismissing this game because it's for gooners is stupid when it's not even close to being the biggest problem it has. Anyway, I'm gonna go pour one out for TV mode and then see if I can try and make a retrospective on the Nintendo 3DS. Now that the Switch 2 has been revealed, people are probably gonna make a bunch of videos looking back on the original Switch. If it ends up shaking up someone's sub box a little bit, I'll consider that a video success. Whenever it comes out, that is. Hopefully I can get this upload schedule back on track sooner or later. Good God, Caesar could crush me with those thighs. Wait, what? Who said that?